Alright, on to game 3 with Arcane Splice. We're already down 2 games, so this hand is just not even that good either. I really don't know. I think it's partly that we keep getting put on the draw, which really hurts this deck, especially against aggro. But we haven't been getting super great hands, really, either. Not that I'm going to blame randomness, but we'll put that on the top because we need another land. Since we're on the draw here again. This is the third game where we're actually on the draw. So, well, at least it's not an aggro deck, whatever it is. We're going to fetch a forest here into a Utopia Sprawl. If we draw a forest here, that'd be nice. It looks like our opponent is playing Delver, maybe, but Delver doesn't play Lonely Sandbar, so that doesn't make any sense. It might be some sort of blue-black control. Not really sure what our opponent is playing. So we're going to play a forest here into Utopia Sprawl. They probably aren't going to counter that. We are going to preordain into... We'll put the Reach the Mist on the bottom. And we will Utopia Sprawl again. Let's see what our opponent is playing, though. That's a strange... Lonely Sandbar. Okay, so it's some sort of blue-black control. I think here... I mean, let's just see if our opponent counters it. We're just going to sift through some sands. I think our opponent would probably want to counter this, though. It's not card advantage. It's just draw. No? Okay. We're gonna play Fertile Ground, see what they have to say about that. Okay. They have a capsize here. We pretty much lose. So we're just gonna hope that they don't have main board capsize. Our opponent has not played a single spell yet this game. So we're actually gonna hold off on the Fertile Ground right now. We've got all the enchantments that we need. I'm a little afraid of getting blown out by capsize. At least until the turn where we're comboing off. And we didn't play the Ash Barrens for this exact reason, actually. Yeah, we're going to compulsive research here, see what they have to say about it. I have a feeling they're not going to let it resolve. Man. So we're actually going to discard an Evolving Wilds here. And we're just going to pass the turn and combo off next turn and see if our opponent has any interaction. Next turn we've got triple green. So he's got so he's already played a preordain, so he's only got one counter spell theoretically. Question is, should we wait until we've got enough blue theoretically? We'll have 5 blue next turn, which should be, we'll have, let's see here. Okay, so if we play Ash Barrens and then Fertile Ground, we will have a total of 5, 6 mana, 5 of which, wait, yeah, 5 of which will be, no, only 4, no, 5 of which will be blue. So we could Ideas Unbound and Peer Through Depths through a counterspell. Or so I think I'd actually prefer just playing a forest here. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna lead off with a Peer Through Depths because we feel less bad about getting countered from that. Ideas Unbound is just so strong when we're comboing off. So I'd rather keep that around. The other possibility that we could have done was tapping down an opponent's peer through depth, or tapping down an opponent's land with peer through depths. But the odds were high that they were going to play another land or something like that. So that's fine though. If they have a daze here, that would be good. We will untap. We will play a Utopia Sprawl. Plus a Preordain. Put that on the bottom and that on the top. We're going to leave a green open. Actually, it doesn't matter because we'll be compulsive researching, if anything. Since we've got an Ash Barrens in our hand, we're going to take Brainstorm. We've already got a few dead cards in our hand already, too. So, I think I would still rather compulsive research here, though. Just to be slightly mana efficient, if that makes any sense. Discard a basic, it doesn't matter. We've already used our land drop. So we will reach through Mists to get an untap effect. Yes. Question is, would we rather Dawn's Reflection here, or would we rather Brainstorm? I'm more inclined to Brainstorm first here, because we're doing fine on mana. Actually, wait. We might have enough mana to just kill our opponents. Let's see here. So 2, 4, 6, 8. So we're going to be adding 6 every time we untap, which isn't quite enough to kill our opponent. I think I actually will still Dawn's Reflection first, though. If we hit any arcane spells with Brainstorm or anything like that, so yeah. So we're going to put these two back. We're going to shuffle away with our Ash Barrens, and now we've got enough mana to just kill our opponent. So we will peer through depths. We'll sift through sands. It doesn't matter at this point. Discard an island. Yes. Oh. We'll use reach through miss, untap. So we're going to be up a game against a control deck, which is pretty good because we actually have a worse game against control. Believe it or not, despite our record so far against aggro decks, we've actually got a better game against aggro decks than control decks, which may not sound very appealing. Seeing as we've already lost 2 games to aggro decks. But that's not usually how the aggro game works out. Or, I mean, it's just pretty dependent on who can be on the play and things like that. But we were struggling to even win while we were on the play. So, I don't know. We might have another matchup against an aggro deck later, though. We can see how the deck will often perform against aggro, where it will just kill them before they can actually kill us. So, anyway, that's going to take us to game 2. So, our opponent's looking like a pretty hard control deck, so we're actually going to bring in a Giga Drowse here just to use it as a silence. And we're going to drop 1 Sift Through Sands, 1 Brainstorm, 1 Preordain, and actually a Wild Growth here. Yeah, because Wild Growth, like I mentioned in the deck tech, is kind of a flex spot. So If our opponent has like land destruction or anything like that in their deck, we may not be in a very good position, but we'll see. It looks like our opponent just really wasn't doing much last game, though. They played 2 spells total, 1 preordain and 1 counterspell, which was pretty unusual. So one advantage that we do have against control decks like this, though, is that especially blue-black control. Blue-black control just isn't really that good of a deck, to be honest, right now. It's just too slow against aggro, and it's too slow against those aggro decks with Burning Tree Emissary and stuff like that. So, but one thing that we do have against control decks like this is that a lot of their spells are going to be dead because they've got a bunch of removal in their decks. And sometimes they don't even have enough cards in their sideboard to bring in for all their removal, so they're literally just going to have dead cards in their hands the entire game, which is pretty great for us, actually. So, anyway, looks like our opponent is taking a while to sideboard, probably trying to figure out how they're going to get rid of all their removal, which is useless against us. This hand is keepable. Doesn't mean I'm happy to keep it, though. Yeah, duress is fine. He'll probably take the Utopia Sprawl, which is a good play here. And now this hand is actually hot garbage. This might be blue-black Flicker. But seeing as we didn't see any creatures last game, I'm not inclined to assume that it is. Alright, so he made a mistake. He should have taken the Utopia Sprawl. It looks like he's going to try and fight us for our combo, though. Which, honestly, I don't think is as good of a game plan. I think it's just easier for control decks, if they're running a lot of discard effects like that, to just try and strip down the enchantments. Don't even just ignore the arcane spells, because the arcane spells are just totally useless if we don't have enough enchantments. So he kind of just wasted that duress. We'll play an island here. Fertile Ground, see what he has to say about it. I mean, he's playing black, so nothing. Or he shouldn't. We're just going to pass it back. One more enchantment and we actually can combo off, but odds of top decking an enchantment are pretty slim. So that may have been a mistake by our opponent, so he's tapping out. He may not have any counter spells or anything like that. But he's tapping out, and we can actually just combo off next turn. I mean, if we got lucky enough. I mean, we can try to combo off right here. Since we don't have anything else to do right now. Our hand is kind of garbage. So we will untap. We will play a Utopia Sprawl. Yes. We will peer through steps. If we could hit a compulsive research here, that would be kind of nice, because right now we don't have any insurance against discarding 3 to the Ideas Unbound, which I don't like. Oh, but this is fine, I guess. So we're going to put... We don't really have the mana right now to be casting Dawn's Reflection, so we're going to put Dawn's Reflection and a Forest back on top. And before we do anything else, we're going to shuffle those away. We're going to find... we'll find an island, just because we're not in the clear by any means yet. So we're going to preordain. Let's see here. I don't want to use my land drop, but we've got access to 5 mana total, which means that we can compulsive research here safely, and then psychic puppetry. to untap our land. But I think I'd rather preordain here just to be safe. I mean, it's not actually that safe. We're going to put... We've already got a compulsive research. So we're going to put that on the bottom. We will keep the ideas unbound on top, though. We've got to play the land now for the ideas unbound. We may just steal this game and get a little lucky against the control deck. We might not, though. We keep getting close to bricking, so I don't like only having one draw spell in my hand. Yeah, so we bricked. So we're gonna have to discard 9 to the ideas inbound, which means we're pretty much dead. It looks like we are playing blue-black flicker. We're gonna keep playing this just because I want to see what my opponent has. So, yeah, we've just got to discard everything. Oof. Maybe we should have kept that compulsive research on top. I don't know. Maybe that was a little greedy, but I don't really think so. Even our opponent's chittering rats are bad here, actually. They don't even have us on a clock right now, so... I mean, they've got us on a 10-turn clock, but that's not really a clock. He might have an angler to follow up some of this stuff kind of soon. I don't know. I don't really, I still can't really tell if this is blue-black flicker or not. Maybe we should have just Kyrex torched our opponent's chittering rats. I didn't think of that. Yeah, we should have just done that. Yeah, so that they wouldn't be able to flicker it or anything like that. Well, I don't want to get hit by chittering rats here, so we're just going to play Fertile Ground. We're trying to top deck as much as we can. And getting hit with another chittering rats would be bad. We want to top deck a compulsive research. Ideas Unbound. Brainstorm. Ponder. Or not Ponder, Preordain. Peer Through Depths would be okay. It doesn't really matter, though. And we definitely did not have the mana to kill our opponent, so... That's okay, though. Let's see how our opponent can kill us. Maybe it's just with 10 turns of Chittering Rats. Stormbound Geist? Okay. Well, we're probably going to get blown out by land destruction at some point. But I don't really care. We've already lost this game anyway, so... We're just looking to see what our opponent has. Alright, so we're on a 4-turn clock. We've got 3 turns left. Basically, top decking a compulsive research and finishing the combo through a counterspell with if our opponent like somehow didn't have a counterspell, which they should at this point. That would be the ideal scenario, I guess, for this game. That's the only way we can win. We already lost our Giga Drowse. Yeah, so we've got a Preordain. He might just counter this, actually. I think that would be kind of dumb, though. Oh, he's going to Ghostly Flicker. Cool. Wow, we don't even get to draw. Cool. Cool. Well, we know we've got a Preordain on top, so... yeah. Oh, the reason I'm not cracking this Terramorphic Expanse is we don't need the mana for anything. Like, we're literally set up to combo. We just have no cards in our hand. So, if they have another Ghostly Flicker, we just lose here. Yeah, it looks like we're playing Blue-Black Flicker, though. Okay, so we didn't have another Ghostly Flicker. Alright, looks like we're going to lose. We're just going to play it out anyway, though. Okay, so he has Dispels, actually, so that's kind of important. That was an important thing right there. So we should be wary of Dispels. Alright. So we're actually going to... Do we want to bring in Deep Analysis? I think we do want to bring in Deep Analysis just because to hedge, give ourselves a little bit more card advantage for situations like that. What do we take out here? Another Sift Through Sands? That feels really bad. Because then we just aren't running enough arcane spells. I think I'd rather cut down on Dispel. Since we're already playing Giga Drowse, which is effectively a counterspell, I mean, it fills a similar function. I think I'd rather cut down on a Dispel. Yeah. Who would like to play first? This hand is fine. So there's no way our opponent, unless they have like a Spell Pierce, there's no way our opponent should be able to counter our Fertile Grounds. So it's fine, even though we have no blue sources in this deck or in this hand. This hand is keepable. They're only, yeah, we're fine. If they go down to 6, that would be great for us. See what they choose to do. Okay, so they mulligan to 6. Then kept. And then they scribe to the bottom. Okay. Ooh, put 2 on top. That's not good for us. No, he doesn't have a duress. Okay. Well, we're going to preordain. He probably won't want to counterspell that. If it were a compulsive research, he probably would. We'll keep the Peer Through Depths. Do we want to Peer Through Depths? No, we need enchantments right now. We've already got 2 arcane spells in our hand. We're likely to draw another. So I'm just going to put that on the bottom as well. Utopia spell, see what he has to say about that. Let's it resolve. Okay. And I think we're just going to fetch with Ash Barrens and get an island on our opponent's end step. Okay. We're going to grab ourselves an island. Brainstorm here. We're going to put a Reach Through Mists. Actually, all of these cards are good. So, I mean, we're going to put these 2 back on top, but we're going to Compulsive Research and see if he has an answer to that. No. So, yeah, we're just going to play an Evolving Wilds here. So all these cards are good in our hand. If he's got a Duress, that'd be pretty bad. But we're actually sitting in a pretty good position here against a control deck at the very least. We've got a Dispel and a Giga Drowse. We've got all the combo pieces we need. We're just looking for an enchantment at this point. If our opponent has land destruction, that would be bad. But seeing as we didn't see any in game 1 or game 2, I think we're in a pretty okay position. So I think we're set up pretty well here. We're going to fetch an island because we want as much blue as we can for our Giga Drowse to tap down our opponent's blue sources. So he's got 3 right now, so we need at least 3 blue, basically. What is he playing? With Dalian Zombie. Looks like he sided that in place of some of his removal. Not that it's going to make any difference for us. So we've got double Psychic Puppetry here, so even a Duress doesn't even hurt us. I think we want to Compulsive Research here, though. We're going to leave 1 green open. Actually, if we're going to leave 1 green open, might as well. If he wants to counterspell that, like, I have no problem. We're going to discard a Deep Analysis here and a Reach Through Mists. We're going to play a Utopia Sprawl. Next turn, we're just actually going to pass and then try and Giga Drowse on our opponent's end step. That's fine. Tapped sources, playing tapped blue sources are great against us, especially when we're about to win. Like, I mean, he's going to get it untapped with his Giga Drowse, but that's fine. Hopefully, so what I'm hoping here is that our opponent plays something like a Chittering Rats and taps down both of these lands, and then all we have to worry about is 1 counterspell. That would be ideal. So we're actually just going to pass the turn. We're not even going to flashback Deep Analysis. We'll do that on our own turn when we're comboing off if we have to. But yeah, we've got enough to tap down every single one of his lands, theoretically. If he's got like a double counterspell, oh boy. Alright, so this is perfect for us, actually. We're just going to put Psychic Puppetry on top. He's going to attack for 2. So it looks like we have this game in the bag then. Unless he's got like 2 Dispels in his hand to deal with our Giga. Actually, it doesn't even matter because what we can do. So we've got 4 blue mana. So we're going to target and then we're going to replicate 3 times. So we're going to target both of these islands twice. So it doesn't even matter if he has 2 Dispels in his hand. Okay, so we're going to tap down that one. Alright, so this one is targeting that. This is targeting that. Then we've got these 2. Then we'll target that one again. So now we've got 1, 2, 1, 2. Then we'll do same targets. So 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah. Alright, so literally the only thing that our opponent can interact with us with now is a Daze, which is going to be irrelevant against us. So we are sitting pretty. We will untap. The question is, do we want to use our blue or our green? I'm more inclined to use the green for the Fertile Ground. Cast another. We will untap. We're gonna take another Peer Through Depths. We don't quite have enough mana to kill our opponent, but don't forget that we've got a flashback deep analysis in our graveyard, so at the very worst, we can still be drawing 2 more cards off that. If we could hit like another Ideas Unbound, that would be pretty nice. Just gonna leave the green up at this point. We might just generate enough mana to kill our opponent at a certain point. Alright, so we're going to put that on the bottom and that on the top. We'll leave one of the green up. Discard a basic. Actually, we'll discard one of these. Just keep chugging away. There's an Ideas Unbound. So we actually could use a library shuffle because we just threw a bunch of really good cards to the bottom. But I don't want to do that quite until we hit a brainstorm first. So here we're going to brainstorm and then we're going to fetch. We'll put these 2 on the bottom. Doesn't matter. We'll fetch away. Hit an island. Doesn't really matter. We'll play Utopia Sprawl. Utopia Sprawl. Go Sift Through Sands. And we've got enough mana to kill our opponents now. Discard that forest. Yes. We will play a Psychic Puppetry. Untap our lands. Generate lots of mana. And we'll just kill our opponent right now. Alright. And that's the game.